Oh yeah.
Good evening, people. This is But Peep This, the podcast where we talk about whatever we want. I'm Lionel, that's Jen, Lamar, Yhis. Sean's not here. Um, he recently devoted his life to Christ. So this is
Of
not
the
a
Church of
joke.
the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
Right. Sean is an
It
atheist.
sucks. It sucks that he's not here though, man. I
Right.
wanted to talk. I
No.
wanted to talk a little basketball with him, man. Instead
So
of the playoff stuff.
unfortunately, Sean had his wisdom teeth removed. I told him earlier that he's not actually a beaver. He just looks like one.
That's unnecessary.
And I mean, he opened the door. He knew.
Yeah,
You can't just say stuff like that.
that's fair.
Jay's, if you had said, yo, man, I got a bad toothache, I would have been like, stop trying to eat the trees, man. You are not a beaver. You're not built like that. You are not him.
Yo, speaking of eating though, I forgot to share this clip with y'all that I seen on Judge Mathis, where these two dudes were this one dude was suing the other one because he had to go to like court and jail or something over a physical altercation they had. And the other guy showed like proof of like how bad the dude cut his face up and stuff, like on Christmas night or something like that. So the plaintiff was with the defendant's ex-wife, and it had been a slow grind of getting that man's wife. He had been working on that for a while. So
he needed it on his team.
The defendant wouldn't let this one story go. He was like, I told this man years ago, leave my wife alone. So you got a
years?
He said, I told him, leave my wife alone. You got a wife. He over here asking my wife to cook him some chitlins. It's like, you got a wife to cook you chitlins. So, and he said, Judge, the chitlins, it take a while. It's like, it take a while to cook. He could have asked his wife why he asked my wife. That man got cut all up in here because the plaintiff was trying to get his wife. And some chitlins was a part of it, which goes to show the chitlins are worth it.
So, I gotta ask something. I gotta ask something. And I can understand if you don't have the details to this one, but I'd like to know.
What you got?
Did anybody ever get any of the chitlins out of all this? Out of the two wives, two men, everybody asked, did anybody get anything out of this?
I'm pretty sure at this point, being that the plaintiff actually has that man's wife now, he probably got them chitlins.
He probably got a whole meal.
Cool.
Mel likes to bake, right? She's fucking surgical with the cookies and the brownies. Surgical. Okay. I'm cool with that. She likes to make cookies for folks, but the day she decides she want to make a red velvet cake for somebody else, I'm on her ass.
I was just about to ask that. When you talked about how much she liked to bake, it's another dude, let's say it's another dude that you don't even know like that for real. But he know that she like to get down with that baking. He's like, yo, so I'm saying though, I can't get no red velvet cake though? Like, and what if she agrees to do it innocently? Like, she's not thinking much of it.
Soon as she cook it, I'm slicing that bitch.
Okay, wait.
I'm licking the knife and I'm slicing it again. That's my cake.
Put your hand in that motherfucker.
1 second.
That's my
what
cake.
What if I ask Mel to cook me some? Hear me all the way out. Remember how we said like an episode or two ago that I had bear fat? Bear fat can be used to make pastries and breads and all this kind of shit. Okay. If I bring her bear fat, I say, here, can you make some for me? I feel like that's different. Like Lamar, you want some different shit. I feel like it's different.
This is a two-part answer. First of all, Mel wanted to make you some cookies or something. I wouldn't care for simple reason is you my friend.
Yeah.
And even if you were my friend, I feel like I could whoop your ass.
No. We talked about this years ago, and we came to agreement on this. 3 feet and in, Lionel got my ass. 4 feet to a mile, I got him.
I'm gonna keep you close.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give you a chance to draw that gun, but when you got to use these, Yeah, I'm on your ass.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't go fight you. All right, bro, you got me.
So there's that. Number 2, you got a better chance of joining the Ku Klux Klan than you got of giving Mel some bear fat and her not throwing up on you. Mel don't even eat red meat.
Word.
You gonna bring her bear fat and she gonna be like, oh yeah, I can make this shake. Hell no.
Wow.
Bro, Mel throw up at the sight of at the smell of hamburger. Ground beef makes her sick. So, you gonna bring her a jar of pure, unadulterated
what are you doing in that house there? Are you not consuming steak and burgers at the house? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I am, because I can cook.
Yeah, but
I know how to season. She coming out.
But I mean,
until I come up with it.
If she,
so here's how.
There go my answer because that was my question.
So I can cook.
Wow.
Like if I want a steak or I want a burger, I can make it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
She eats boneless, skinless chicken, boneless, skinless turkey. She likes bacon, which is weird, but not turkey bacon. Just regular pork bacon. And the occasional pepperoni, but it has to be in New Jersey, which I totally get. Because until you have a slice of pizza in New York and New Jersey, that pepperoni is different, period.
Amen.
So, like, I usually make hamburger steaks every other week.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So that's like my favorite. That's like my comfort meal with some mashed potatoes, some green beans, and a biscuit. That's it. That's me. I may make that shit tomorrow.
I fuss with that. But what you got some gravy going on in there, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna teach you my quick way to make gravy.
Okay, no.
And you don't even need no grease. You need a little oil, but you don't need no remnants.
Okay, no.
We're gonna get back to that.
Word.
So if I'm gonna make non-chicken, I need to make chicken for her. So I'm usually making 2 meals if I don't, because see, I don't really like dark meat chicken myself. Okay. So the boneless, skinless chicken breast thing ain't no real adjustment for me to make to eating all the time. Because I only like chicken breast growing up anyway. Now the skin, if I want skin on a chicken breast, I can go get a whole fryer breast and just slice the bone out of it, and then I'm good to go. But for her, boneless, skinless, easy peasy. Ground turkey, I feel like ground turkey tastes better than ground beef most days. Like I can make tacos with ground turkey. It's just how you season it, Jay. You gotta throw the onions in it. You gotta throw the peppers in it.
My man.
Right. So I have made no real adjustment with what I eat.
Okay.
Except I use olive oil, which I never used until I started dating Mel.
Okay.
And then when I went home and started using olive oil, like when I went to visit my mom and I was like, where's the olive oil? My dad was like, that's white people shit. It's like oil?
That's what my mama said, like a couple years ago. My mama said that exact same thing a couple years ago.
Jay, do you have olive oil in your house?
I do. I just use some.
Enough said. Ain't nothing like some olive oil.
Just use some.
Yeah. Now, like I can cook it in the house, but as far as like putting it on her plate and putting it in front of her, no.
Fuck.
Nah.
Now,
look, I got a question. Jen, what is the movie that you can remember that traumatized you in your childhood?
Corpse Bride.
Damn, why was that so? It was right there. Easy.
I didn't even watch the movie and that shit gave me nightmares.
Look, Jay's, we're gonna answer that question on 3. All right, let me see if we're gonna say the same thing. 1, 2, 3. Candyman.
Tales from the Hood. Oh, but we in that though. Candyman, Tales from the Hood. They're not. Tales from the Hood
was more funny than it was scary.
Look, man. Okay, 2 stories in Tales from the Hood got me. The story with David Allen Greer, where he's the monster at night type of thing.
Yeah.
And the very end, where we find out the dude who's telling all the stories is Satan.
Now the one where the dude bought the plantation, now that shit was scary. With all the little
that shit was
funny.
That shit
was fucking creepy.
That shit was funny.
But This ain't no funeral. Laugh at that.
Candyman was my shit, bro. I don't know why.
If I had seen Candyman when I was younger, that would have been my answer, but I didn't.
Gotcha.
Because Candyman's creepy as shit.
But
Jen was with me.
You know what? I seen it when I was younger, and I thought it was interesting. But when I was told years later that it's loosely based, kind of like on a true kind of story, I was like, oh, that shit is kind of scary then, because it's not so much.
I would have had an issue with the bugs.
What was it? The bees? Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
like that would have freaked me the hell out as a child.
Now,
it bothers me as an adult, but it would have freaked me the hell out.
What got me was the neighborhood that it was based in. I think it was shot in too. Is people were telling stories about how motherfuckers would come through your window in your bathroom. Well, I mean, your mirror in your bathroom. And then recently, when I started looking it up, I started seeing the actual stories of when people were trying to rob you that push your mirror through.
Yeah, because a lot of apartments in the city, the walls are that thin.
Right. And then there's this one lady, y'all may have seen this story. She was getting a draft in her bathroom. It was like real drafty on the bathroom, and she was wondering what was going on. And she started to feel around the mirror and noticed that. And she was like, oh, this is a whole ass apartment on the other side of my shit.
Yeah. Now, when Candyman came out in 21, like the Friday it came out, I was like, Jen, whatever you're doing tonight,
we went and saw it.
You're canceling it. We're going to see.
I wasn't doing anything. There was nothing.
Never doing shit.
I ain't gonna lie, I haven't seen it, but the part of that trailer that's hilarious to me is how old black folks don't play with shit like that. Because remember, it's a part of the trailer where the dude said Candyman. She was like, no, we don't do that.
See, if you could go back and look at the trailer, in the background, you hear Destiny's Child, Say My Name playing.
Yeah.
And I was like, that shit. Jordan Peele.
Oh, that is a new. Jordan Peele started something with that. I'm watching a show named From. Now, it's on MGM Plus.
Man, really you got all the subscriptions, don't you?
It's free. That's why I got it. and there's a great actor in it, and it's a really good story. The song that they're using has been made into one of those horror remixes. Jordan Peele started something with that. I don't think nobody else was doing that before he started doing that shit.
I'm gonna tell you this though, Jay. When you watch the movie, once you get to the middle of the movie, you're gonna be like, oh.
You know what? I say this because me and Keisha are kind of weird about this. We don't care a whole lot about spoilers, especially if we're watching something. We would purposely look it up to see how it ends, to see if we're wasting our time.
Okay. So I'll tell you this then.
So I know that the lead guy is kind of, he's like a new version of Candyman in some way.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'll be interested in how y'all gonna work that out.
So do you remember the old Candyman, right? They had the big fire and Helen went in to save the baby. The main character is the baby.
I could do that. Before we go on though, I didn't get an answer. Lamar, what movie traumatized you as a kid?
Okay.
Or teenager?
Oh, this shit gonna be funny.
All right. Teenager. The Corpse Bride. Do you know why?
Please tell me.
Wait. Here's why. I was 19. Jen was asleep. Woke the fuck up and hit me off a dream she had. Scared the fuck out of me. I was 19. Hey, wait a minute. Whoa. Wait a minute. Hang on. I'm the veteran. How your PTSD got me fucked up? How'd that work? Okay.
I remember this. Lamar was pissed off. I was like, what do you want me to do about it?
I've never seen this fucking movie. I want to know that. I've never seen this movie.
That is crazy.
She woke the fuck up and hit me on some fear shit. Okay. I had to get that out there. I was mad about that. Okay. And then as a child.
Nightmares. I'm sorry.
10 years later, now you want to say you're sorry.
as a child, I think I was 12 or 13, and I watched a movie called Full Metal Jacket. And this is when I knew I was, yeah. Okay, y'all know what Full Metal Jacket is, minus Jen, but that's okay.
I do.
Yeah. Now, Full Metal Jacket, y'all know what it is, Jen. It's a very hardcore military movie about the Vietnam War, all that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This is why I say it traumatized me. It's not the blood and the guts and the gore and the fighting and all this. None of that. The part that got me fucked up is now as an adult, I look back at this and I realize I learned the Mickey Mouse song from that movie.
Oh my God.
I never learned it beforehand. I never watched Mickey Mouse and Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, none of that. I learned the Mickey Mouse song watching a bunch of soldiers walk across a village that was burning. Yeah, you a little fucked up, bro. You're not cool.
I also want to throw this out here, Yhis. Lamar never listened to rap music until he started hanging out with me.
You've done this to two people. What's going? Why are you an ambassador for hip hop?
I don't know. I don't know.
To get into
I don't know.
But yo, the movie. So Tales from the Hood, I seen that way too young. But and two outside looking in choices are, trust me, they're very random, but they weren't movies until one later. The Bears from Bearstein Bears, the middle kid got me somehow. We was living in a house in Uniontown that had like it had a second floor, it had upstairs or whatever. But the bedroom door was like this real old doorknob where the keyhole was like one of them big keyholes you can look through. And I remember having a nightmare that one of the Bearstein Bears was walking up the stairs with his face full of fire. And I don't know what the hell I ate that night or what. It was like, you know what? I'm staying away from that fucking book and I don't want to see none of those cartoons. So you can keep that shit. The other one was Where the Wild Things Are. That one was another one that got me. So I remember picking up that book one day. I promise you, I remember this shit so vividly. I remember picking up that book one day. It was sunny out. It was cool. Everything was great. I was at some after school program because my parents was working. I picked it up, and as soon as I opened it, not to page one, I just like opened the motherfucker. Everything outside got dark. It was like storming, like a big, like thunderclap. And I was like, all right, so this book ain't for me either. So I look, maybe I should have been like a young Lionel and checked the forecast that day, and I would have been all right. but no, the movie that got me was The Exorcism of Emily Rose. And the reason why is because at the beginning it tells you it's based on a true story. So I'm like, okay, we in for a good ride here. But the wild, scary shit in the movie starts happening to the lady in the movie at 3 a.m. each morning. So I don't know. It was something. She played the hell out of that role. I forgot her name. I think she's also in White Chicks randomly. Because that's a random move from White Chicks to Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Yeah.
When you think about it, it's kind of not.
That's some range. It's like, fuck that. That's range.
So that's crazy. I just thought about. You want to know something? You said,
yeah, that one got me.
Okay, so do you remember the show Franklin?
I don't think so. Nah.
About the turtle?
Oh. Okay.
I remember. I know about it. I ain't seen it though.
I remember that. Okay.
Couldn't watch it.
What the hell Franklin did to you?
Snapping turtle. Couldn't do it.
I
could probably do it today.
Why the hell was so many of those turtles in Perry County? And it seemed like it was at that time.
No.
Because I've never seen them as an adult in this area. It's like, did something wash them over here?
I've seen, I mean, well, you really got to be near water, like a creek or a stream or something like that.
You know what? That's a good point, because I grew up in Cahaba Heights, this neighborhood here, and there was a pond back behind the neighborhood that you had to go through like bushes and like snake shit and all kind of shit to get back there. So
and
that makes
I've
sense.
never seen turtles in the same place I've seen snakes in Perry County.
I've seen them in Cahaba. Still don't understand.
Growing up, here's a fun fact about the Harris household. We used to be scared of songs. So
you gotta explain it.
Oh, I'm gonna explain it, bro. Listen, Terry gonna kill me for telling the story. All right. So one night, Terry decided, because we had bunk beds in a single bed. We all shared, 3 boys. Terry didn't want to sleep in the room with us. He wanted to sleep on the couch. Mom's like, fuck it, go sleep on the couch. I don't give a fuck. All right. And he just in there just crying. Right. So my mom get up, she go, baby, what's wrong with you? He's like, I'm scared. Scared of what? Terry said, Mary J. Blige, keep your head to the sky.
What? Oh, you get a punishment after that, man. I ain't coming in here for that. I ain't coming in this room for that. I ain't coming in this room. You're gonna punish me for that. You're gonna punish me.
Look, I give you another one. You remember Commons, The Light, where he used the Bobby Caldwell sample?
Love that fucking song.
Bro, we were scared of Bobby Caldwell. Like that part of the song was scary as shit as a kid. So
look, I was having a debate with my brother today because he's also a driver. He do hot shot driving, so he drive pickups. We was talking about top 3 restaurant chain French fries. We couldn't agree on number 1.
So number 1 is clearly McDonald's.
I fucks with it.
You know what? I was just about to say, I already know the person who hates McDonald's.
Jen abstains.
It's just not gonna.
Number 1 is Arby's.
Baby,
you know what?
Not in a fucking
honey. No, there's more oil in Arby's than in all of Iraq. How the hell you go have? Stop laughing.
French fries are so fucking good.
And my top 3.
He got a point.
My top 3 was McDonald's, Wendy's, and Arby's. So I'm with you on that Arby's. They in my top 3. My brother was McDonald's, Wendy's, and I think Rally's.
I'd say McDonald's, Rally's, and then Zaxby's got some hella fire crinkle cuts. The crinkle cuts are rare.
You know what? They're a little underrated.
They're very underrated.
I fuss with that. That's a good choice. That's a good choice. So Jen, since McDonald's is just not on your list, who are the other 2?
I generally won't order French fries, actually.
We had this conversation.
What? No, yeah. I never had it.
Oh, yeah, you may not have been here, but we had this conversation.
When they asked me for my hot take about food, I said French fries were the most overrated version of a potato.
What the? All right, you know what? Wait a minute. What is the best form of the potato for you?
I'm personally a fan of mashed potatoes. Like, I love mashed potatoes.
Okay, mashed potatoes is your number 1. What you got?
Hash browns are wonderful, and a good baked potato.
Okay. Back up. So hash browns in what form? We talking Waffle House or we talking McDonald's hash brown patty?
Okay, so I would either say Waffle House or I would probably go for Waffle House, or I end up with tater tots. I don't do the in between.
You don't do the patty joint?
I will eat the patties, but if we're talking top 3, we're either doing Waffle.
Sorry.
Or I want tater tots.
It's been a while since I had tater tots.
I can't stand a fucking tater tot.
Last time I had tater tots, it was a mistake because I had them at Crystal's, I think, and I shouldn't have been there anyway. And I got the chili cheese tots, and I shouldn't have been there. Oh, it was a dream while I was eating it, but it was a fucking nightmare an hour later.
Listen, it's
that was a
mashed,
mistake.
it's fries, then it's mashed, then it's baked. Actually, you can go in either order: fries, mashed, baked, in any order, and I'd be okay with that. But tater tots and Waffle House hash browns, while they are good, are at the bottom of the list, down there by au gratin.
Okay, au gratin.
Oh, wow, really? They're
like
not that far down for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got an idea that I think is going to change the game on this one. And I don't care if anybody else agree with this. This is just for me. Think number 3 is fries. Number 2 is mashed. Number 1 is ballistic. You ever have a potato gun? That is the funnest shit. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. That is the funnest form of a potato. I don't care.
That is the most That is the most 90s crime hood shit I've ever heard. Because you know niggas in the hood could afford the silencer, but they could afford a potato.
Sack of potatoes cost $2.89 all day, every day. Lamar,
that silencer
pick up raise your right hand, turn it this way, do this.
I can't see. All right, yeah.
Do this, pluck yourself.
Yeah, got
it. The first look when he said that, I looked at. I watched a lot of TV, so the first thing I thought about was the movie South Central, because in South Central that should have. That was another movie I shouldn't have been watching that young. I shouldn't have been watching South Central, and I don't know what my.
I have my questions about that movie. Question number 1 is, how did they get DNA off of rotten potato?
Okay, look. So I watched it last year as an adult for like the first time, and I was wondering, yo, did they just flip on this dude some kind of way, because something ain't right about this?
Yeah,
this
how you get
evidence.
DNA from a rotten potato? I watch enough ID and First 48 to know you're not gonna get DNA off of organics.
Something ain't right. Something ain't right here.
But I digress. So story time. I guys, I work in an office full of white people. Right. So the few black people that are there, it's like a clique. Like somehow all the black people end up in the cafeteria at the same time in the morning, fixing their coffee and making their breakfast and shit. So
That's how it works.
You walk in there, you go, "What up, though?" And everybody, what's up?
Yeah.
And one of the guys, he noticed because I got my hair braided, right? He goes, "You look like Ludacris's cousin, Absurd." It's like, I couldn't say that, but fuck you.
That was nice though.
That was perfect.
I like that one.
Zero fat on it, just perfect.
I forgot what I came in here for. Shit. Eat my goddamn sausage biscuits in fucking peace.
That was good.
Y'all fucking with me.
That was good.
The shit is wild. But here you go, Yhis. Gravy recipe that requires no work.
What you got?
Okay. You do need flour.
Okay.
Flour, beef broth, onion soup.
Onion soup.
A pack of onion soup mix.
Keisha is big on the onion soup mix for the gravy that she makes. So that's probably how she's doing it.
It's clear. It's like you don't need no seasoning. Like now you can do your onions, right? Like put the oil in it and you do your onions. But when you get your onions the way you want them, throw the onion powder in there. Take half your beef broth, do the gravy, do the flour in it, and slurries. People need to start using slurries and stop just pouring flour on their shit.
Okay.
Especially when you're making soups and stews. If you pour the slurry in towards the end, then your soup will thicken just right, and the shit won't stick to the bottom of the pan. Ladies and gentlemen, and if you're listening, if you make your soup thick in the beginning, you're going to fuck it up. That's why half of y'all can't boil water now.
Look, have any one of y'all consumed story-based podcasts?
Oh, I watched Welcome to Night Vale. I mean, I listened to Welcome to Night Vale for a while, so there was that.
You know what? If you are still interested in that, there are a few that are in that same category that's fucking good. I stumbled across story-based podcasts by mistake, really, because I was looking up something on the Star Wolf 359, I think. And there was a podcast named that. So I was like, oh, okay, so this would be some shit I can, figure out what this star is about. Nope. It's kind of about that star, but it's a fictional story about these group of people who were sent out there to orbit the star to just get research on it. And you follow these people and there's a bunch of shit that breaks off in it. But one of the best ones, aside from a show called The Bright Sessions, is one called Ars Paradoxica. It's ARS Paradoxica. And is around a doctor by the name of Dr. Sally Grissom, I think. And she's studying something to do with time travel. But when she stumbles upon it, she's sent back to 1954. And there's no way to move forward. She's sent back to 1954 on a military ship that was also still some conspiracies about the experiment that was done that make the ship disappear. Anybody heard of this experiment, by the way? So that was something done in the 50s that was supposed to have made a ship completely disappear. It was something, of course, to do with sciences and the army and all of that shit. Let me see. What is it? Because there's a name of that ship specifically that she's on. And when I started looking up the shit, I went down the rabbit hole myself. When I find it, I will get more details. But again, she sent back to 1954 with this, what they call throughout the show, a timepiece. And you can't move forward. If you use it, you can only move back as an anchor point. You keeping all the information that you just gathered, you can move back and you are set on the same timeline, but backwards, basically. So
Stephen King's 11/22/63 kind of does that, where they can only go back to one point in history.
There we go.
Or the present day. You can't go, like, you have to travel anywhere in between the normal way.
Right. There we go. And here's the ship. The ship was a USS Eldridge in 1943. So the only thing is, you can't really, there are people who like to say that the experiment happened, but you can't prove it, because if it was invisible, then who has record of it? so if you messed around and found this timepiece that sent you back to 1943, what would you do? Are you just trying to live out at that point? Or you like, you know what? I'm doing something that would make me no longer here. So if you
I'm moving to the Bahamas.
I'm moving to Canada.
I don't know where I'm going, but I don't want to be in the 40s.
Oh, and she was stuck in 1943 Texas.
Ooh.
Because when she
better be on the stove as 1943.
Because when
she
she got
on the stove, I love you. I love you.
Because when she got there, and keep in mind, Dr. Grissom, really smart. She got all the shit that she's learned from present day, and she's bringing it to 1943. Of course, the technology isn't mentioned, but she's doing the best that she can with it. So a lot of the things that we small that will work today is massive for her working back then. But when she lands on a military ship, the military take her and use her for her expertise. So she plays a role in the atom bomb and all of that. Like, she's a part of all of that shit. And as time progressed, this woman who's 20 or 30 something in present day is now 20 or 30 something in the 40s, going all the way up to the 70s and 80s. And there are people in the 70s and 80s, because of what she discovered, who knows about her and look at her as a hero, basically. And she has to come to terms with that shit because she don't want to be here. There's one part where she finally finds a way to charge her cell phone in the 40s. And yo, look, again, the story-based podcast thing, and that's another thing I wanted to talk to you specifically about, Jen. The story-based podcast thing was something that I stumbled across, but that one episode, it broke me. It broke me because she was able to charge it up and she heard all the voicemails from present day. And nobody from present day know where she is. Her mom, her colleagues, all of that. None of them know where she is. And instead of using that, she just went ahead and broke the phone. But since she broke the phone, she got in trouble because, again, the government that she's kind of working for was like, hey, what is this little weird thing that you're using here? How dare you break that? We need that. So, look, I'm telling you, these stories are really, really
I was going to say, story podcasts can be weird. So.
Super weird, but super good. And the fact that they think about details like somebody's in a studio doing things to simulate people running from gunshots and stuff, or simulate what it would sound like if somebody get punched in the face or something. It was like, y'all really care about this, and I appreciate that. You're going to that level, so I appreciate it. I have an idea for one that I wanted to talk to you about later, Jen, but it's one that I don't think I will have to do all of that for.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but no, that was the scenario. You're stuck in the 40s. Are you living all the way up until whenever time you're gonna live? Think you're your mid-20s in 43. So are you making it to the 90s? Early 2000s, maybe? Because average lifespan now, I think, is 76. Are you trying to go through all that? Or are you like, you know what, man? I'm out of here. I don't want to do none of this shit.
That's a good question.
Because she had to live through that. There was nothing she could do. When she did find an option, she chose not to go through it. She chose not to go through it.
I don't think I would go back in time knowing that there was no way back.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, she stumbled across it on mistake.
See, Jen, I'm so sorry.
A mistake.
This is what white people do.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Look, because you would have stumbled across the time machine, like, shit, that ain't none of my business right there.
And there's another thing that's created like a bubble almost that you can go into, that time moves different within that bubble than everything around you, basically. It's like they can see that far into the future that you can't see, and they can send messages outside of it to better guide people about what they need to do. And in this situation, the government, basically. And
that's nuts.
When they put this dude in this bubble, they put him in there as a punishment. And they give him 5 boxes that's in there. And he can open them at any time. He can act. This is the part that gave me a headache for a long time. If he's in there, he can send out a message and ask for something and turn around and open the box and it's there. But the boxes are already there once he get in there.
Time travel logic's fucking weird.
So
that's some Doctor Who bullshit.
This is a man.
Absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic.
This is a man who lives in the 40s as an adult, finds out about the Game Boy because it was just in one of those boxes. That part fucked me up for a really long time because I'm trying to put it together. How are the boxes already there? I understand time moves different in this bubble. How are the 5 boxes already there? I send a message out to the people in the 40s or 50s asking for something, and I turn my chair around and I open the box and it's in there. I'm still
well, because if time isn't a straight line, then you can pick and choose from where it is.
Ooh. It may have been explained that way and I missed it. Ooh.
You know, sitting here,
wow, okay,
listening to you talk about this podcast, something randomly popped in my head. We talked about last week. I know another artist that under no circumstances will my wife go on stage with him. Rick Ross.
Yo, not the boss.
Right. If Rick Ross is like, you come on stage with me, you don't sit your ass down.
he gonna, do his verses to Aston Martin music,
Great
Drake
song.
gonna come out.
Great song.
Michelle gonna come out.
But sit your ass down in that shit. Because
Yo,
we never be in the front. Like, he gonna have to look for us way in the back because I would never sit front row in a Rick Ross concert because I just feel like I get hit with sweat.
Oh, 100%. Look, I like what Ross is doing in terms of buying cattle, but his neighbors are complaining that he's not controlling his cattle as good as he should because they've seen buffalo in their backyard. I understand the cows and the bulls. Nigga, why do you have buffalo?
Why do you have a buffalo in Georgia?
Why do you have buffalo in Georgia?
I got a couple of questions. Number one, why is he buying cattle? Number two, there's an EPA thing about brucellosis, which is a problem that bison carry. Okay. I know this because I have a bison in my freezer right now. Part of it, not the whole thing. Now, why does he have the cows in the first place? He's not a cow.
If I'm not mistaken, there is a vaccine for that.
Well, what he's doing is, I think he has like a couple ponies and everything. I think he's looking at livestock as what it is, livestock. He's looking at his cattle as livestock. He's looking at it as money, basically. And
all he has to do is have the vaccination records on
the cattle
on hand.
Oh,
he is good to go.
I didn't know that. So, and then when you look at that house that he bought from the bank that got it from Evander Holyfield, that's a bunch of land out there. So, not only does he have that, he also cut his own lawn. I think that's kind of cool too.
That's stupid. That's fucking stupid.
Nah, I think that's cool.
Yeah, yes,
that's
yes,
cool.
it is.
Look,
because
man, I've been look. There's nothing like that riding mode chilling, man. You got your hat on.
Shit.
You got your little cup holder there with your beer on it.
Bull.
Nothing like that riding.
Shit. If I could pay somebody to cut my grass every week, I would do it.
So look. I understand the cows. I understand the bull. If we're talking about breeding and all of that stuff, and livestock is good. But the buffalo, though, what are you doing with the buffalo? Like, was that just something I just wanted to get?
Fuck. Actually, I kind of have to support him on the buffalo a little bit. I hate it, but I have to support him.
Listen, I want a giraffe, my damn self.
You ain't gonna buy no giraffe in this house.
I told you, Mel, listen, let's get a giraffe put in the backyard.
So, Lamar, what is the reasoning you believe behind a buffalo? What's the...
Okay, the reason I am supportive of him having a buffalo is solely for my benefit. Out west here, I'm on the Mountain West, Rocky Mountains. Do you know how many people I have come out here out west from back east that have no business being in the mountains? Do you know how many people I've had to pull off of cliffs because they wanted to go hiking? these people are fatter than some of the bears that I've shot. They have no business being. No, stop laughing at me. Some of these people don't belong out here in the woods. Okay. Well, all right, cool. They want to come out and see Yellowstone and the bison and the wolves and all this. All right, that's cool. Literally thousands of you a day. That system isn't designed for you all to traffic through there. And then every one of them, in every, say, 50, there's at least 10 Karens. There's at least 10 Karens that don't care about the rules. Well, I want a picture with the buffalo. And the buffalo will go up, fuck them up. Now I got to shoot the buffalo. And hey, Ross, put that in the petting zoo over there. Keep if Cheryl and her cousins want to come do the cool, go over there, take pictures, all like that.
If Meredith wants a picture with the buffalo,
go over there.
Take your ass to Georgia.
Now, you know how I know Lamar is telling the exact truth on this bison and buffalo shit. There's constantly videos about motherfuckers getting too close to buffalo.
Yes. I've done tourniquets and all kinds of shit on people getting fucked up by animals that, like, there's a sign, do not feed them. Well, I'm different. They're smiling at me. Nigga, she's trying to eat you.
You a snack. That's why he's smiling.
You laughing. I about shot a woman one time because she did it once, 1 year.
Yeah.
Went away, came back the next year and thought, okay, that animal died, so none of the other ones will do it to me. Right. At this point, you are it's not only reckless endangerment of you, natural resources, and me and my time and my resources. Mm-hmm. I have to kill our wildlife because you can't listen. You are a danger to our wildlife. Why can't I kill you? Like, this is the resource. This is how I eat. This is how these people who live out here eat and how they're living.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see you. I
was gonna say it is in fact some white woman bullshit of seeing a wild animal.
I see you now. God, that makes so that web that you just created there, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Hang up.
Now I still think it's wild that Rick Ross got it, but fuck it. If you got it, take it over there. It's cool.
It's bad wild.
Why do you have a buffalo in Atlanta?
That's bad wild.
Well, think about it. He's been out here for a minute. He's been had bras in Atlanta. So let's get some buffalo in Atlanta.
But yeah. So you brought up a good point though about being in the mountains out there. When I was doing over the road driving, I seen a lot of that shit for the first time.
Yeah.
Like and God, you can see it on TV, you can see it in pictures, whatever. When you see that shit in person, it's breathtaking.
It's different.
God damn, it's breathtaking. I remember coming over a hill in Nebraska. And as soon as I got over the hill, I couldn't see it from coming up. When I got over the hill and seeing how stretched out the shit was, it was like, yo, so y'all just out here like that. Like,
just out here.
There are parts of Nebraska you will see nothing. It just goes.
It was, look, I'll admit, out there, my top 3 favorite places to drive through was Nebraska, driving through the desert in Arizona, and Idaho. Idaho was beautiful as hell.
Yeah.
The only one of those I haven't driven through is Idaho.
Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful.
I haven't been west of Illinois.
One of the things
Minnesota.
One of the things that I didn't know in my training school was the mountains in North Carolina. And I never accounted for how close North Carolina was to Tennessee. I'm trying to see, because I don't want to be ignorant enough to believe that a mountain is a mountain is a mountain. So how much different is it out there than what you would see in Tennessee or North Carolina?
The Appalachian mountains are older.
By far.
So they're not
millions of years older.
They're not as sharp and pointy as the Rockies are.
And also when they find untouched places within the Appalachian Mountains, it might predate lots more forms of life than the Rockies would.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So the Appalachian runs from fucking Birmingham all the way up the fucking East Coast, essentially.
Because there's mountains in Maryland too.
Wait a minute.
The Appalachian Mountains start in Birmingham. Those are mountains. When you're driving up 65, right outside of Birmingham, those are mountains. When you're driving up 59, 20.
So, yeah. So
Yeah,
Damn, I know exactly what you're talking about. Fuck.
Those
Because
are the
it's like
Appalachian
going
Mountains.
from Birmingham going up through like Huntsville and
Yeah.
Tennessee, and I know exactly what
Well,
you're
no,
talking
if you're going to 59, like you're going to Chattanooga.
Yeah, that's
59, not
yeah.
65. I meant 59.
No, I
Like we
know.
go through
Yeah, I
like
know.
Gadsden
So
and Anniston up that way.
there
Those are
are there are a certain group of people in the South that aren't natives, if I'm not mistaken, but are recognized for those Appalachian like hills and stuff, right? Like
Yes.
that's like a form of life for them, and they're like,
Yes.
they're called
okay,
hillbillies.
No,
nah, it's
it's
not.
different.
Nah,
No, it's different.
it's not. They are different apparently from, and I'm learning this honestly through TikTok. And what's interesting is those Appalachian people that you may have known from like the 40s and 50s. Generation Z has what they have, but they're also a bit more rebellious and they have technology. so so and the trucks that it looked like most of the cars that I've seen in those areas look like people just got 4 tires and a body and put that shit on there.
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia.
Like, and that shit is dope to me. It's like doom buggies and shit most of the time. So there's like this lady who's like most of her makeup is like goth, but she plays one of those guitars. What are those hillbilly guitars?
Banjo?
Banjos.
Banjo. The weirdest connection of shit going on there.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm learning is that Appalachian people, like their lives, this shit is interesting as hell. I like that. I like how
they live completely different. They have different rules. They have different everything.
Okay, so that's
They
what I
have
was thinking.
fascinating folklore around like mythology and stuff of the area. I don't know enough to speak on it, but what I've read is interesting.
This is even more interesting. Cool. I like this shit. So with that being said, with people in those areas like that, why don't the natives own all Dakota, South and North? Because the little bit that I know about that area, I don't think nobody should even be allowed there without their permission.
Okay, wait. Dakotas, or are we talking about?
We've
North
moved whole
and South. No, I'm talking. Yeah, I've gotten off the Appalachians. So I'm talking about the people in these areas because I'm pretty sure most of those Appalachian people like that shit comes from a bloodline.
Yes, it
Like
is.
I don't think there's a huge population of people who just live in Florida somewhere and say, oh yeah, I'm gonna move to Appalachia.
No.
Like no, you grow up there. So I'm wondering why don't the natives own just everything that is Dakota, North and South?
Manifest
Because
destiny, white supremacy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say because government.
I tried not for it to be that easy of an answer.
It is though.
It also impacts their voting regulations because one of them, I don't remember which one, doesn't have voter registration, but they are more likely. That's because the area is mostly white. So when they see a person of color, they're like, you don't live here, do you? And you're more likely to get challenged on if you actually have the right to vote in that state.
You know what? You might be talking about the area where this dude tried to move into and start a whole like white colony.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes, that was in South Dakota.
So Lamar knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Correction. It was in North Dakota, not South Dakota. It was in North Dakota.
Right.
I just know I'm talking about one of the Dakotas. I can't tell you which one.
North Dakota, South Dakota.
And what was crazy is
they're fucking cold. Don't go there.
They had to find some shit to get him up out of there with because technically he wasn't doing anything technically illegal.
Mm-hmm.
But they had to find ways to kind of make it uncomfortable for him to move him up out of there. Like shit, like he didn't have running water or electricity or shit like that.
Yeah.
So they had to basically push him out of there. But when they did so, he was selling some of the property that he bought to other white supremacists and other white nationalists. And they're trying to move them up out of there. So that's fucked up. The Dakotas of probably any other area I could think about off the top of my head in this country should just be like, if you're driving through here, you have to get specific permission to do so. Because when I think about Mount Rushmore, America is still trying to pay that tribe that own that land specifically in that mountain.
Yeah.
They're still trying to pay them. And they're like, fuck your money, give me my shit back.
Yeah.
It's like, at this point, it's multiple billions of dollars. And I think it started in the 80s. And the interest on it is still growing. And the tribe is still like, man, I don't give a fuck what number you put on that. I just want my shit back. And America know that if they give them that shit back, it ain't gonna be no more Mount Rushmore. So,
at this point, I might take the cheese.
I could see it, but this is their equivalent. Okay, you guys have seen the shit with like Israel and Palestine and fighting over Jerusalem and all that, and all that. This is the equivalent of that culturally for them. Right. I don't care how much money you give Israel or Palestine; neither of them gonna give that shit up, are they?
Yeah, you're right.
Like you will burn an entire country to make that shit happen. Now, the only solution I could think to make this happen is this. We could, in theory, I don't know if it'll work, but in theory, in Jerusalem, hey, 10 miles, a square mile, like the District of Columbia, just a district, no state owns it. Everybody come in, worship as you see fit, no fighting, everybody cool, just a box. Everybody be cool, come in, do your worship, religious, whatever. Cool, go outside the box, fight all you want. But this is a quiet, this is for us. In the same way, Mount Rushmore, cut a 10-mile square, or however big we got to make it. Okay, 4 grandfathers. Assuming that we didn't cut the 4 grandfathers off the mountain to make our 4 or 5 Mount Rushmore heads, because we might have, I don't remember. Assuming that the 4 grandfathers have their own mountain, 10 square mile box, take down every American flag, take down every state flag. This is local, international ground, for lack of a better term. Here, natives, you go in, you have your worship, right? Americans, you go in, do your thing. I would like for that to work. That being said, I think we tore down the 4 grandfathers to make our shit as a statement of we are now in control. So that might have, I don't know if that'll work.
That's why the aliens ain't gonna fuck with us. This is exactly
like, yo, look, I've seen that mountain, pictures of it before they start putting the presidents up there.
Yep.
And even now, if you look at it, you can still see what it used to be a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the person who started it didn't finish it. That nigga was planning on making 4 bodies.
Yeah.
Like, if we go, what the hell? Are you trying? Yo, whatever, man. I think he died trying to finish.
Yeah, he did. Okay. Yes, he did.
Cool. So what's interesting about it is I think in front of it or behind it, the natives started building their own thing.
Yes.
For one of, who is it exactly? Who's the face?
Oh,
you're okay. There's Crazy Horse.
I think it might be him.
There's Crazy Horse. He's not on the same mountain. He's about an hour away from Mount Rushmore.
Right, but you can, from a distance, like you can see
where
he could see them.
Yes.
That shit is so fucked up. When I seen him, man, it was like, yo. Also, the way he died is murky at best. I think it's something like his cousin accidentally killed him or something while he was in a fight with the American army at the time because he didn't want to leave, and it was that whole thing is murky. But that dude was planning on building 4 bodies out of these presidents on that mountain.
Gotta love America.
He had too much time on his hands.
You got to think about the audacity of that deal.
No. It's not audacity. It's caucasity. Only a white motherfucker. Listen, only a white motherfucker can be on that shit. Only a white motherfucker is caucasity. I'm sorry. It is.
Yo.
Continue. I'm sorry.
Yo, because if I'm not mistaken, there was a agreement that you won't fuck with this mountain. This is part of the land you won't fuck with. I think they kind of bullied them out of it and said, okay, we got it, but we won't mess with it. We won't do anything with it. Then they started carving faces into it. Then it got to a point to where they was like, okay, we messed up, we lied. Here go a bunch of money. Make it rain. It was like, nigga, what I'm gonna do with this money? It was like, I don't want this. I want that shit that you stole from me.
Oh, fuck.
So, what you got, Lamar?
Give that shit back.
I don't know how much money it would take, but let's just for easy math, let's just say $5 billion.
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna get the exact number.
Okay,
Go ahead.
for easy math, let's just say $5 billion. The natives say, okay, fine, we'll surrender. You can have the shit. Just give us the $5 billion.
Word.
I forget where the law is, and we can talk to our resident law expert about this. There is a law that is basically saying, hey, you can buy the rights to some shit. I wonder what the rights would be to that mountain.
Oh, so property rights for Native Americans were actually to the point when most of the U.S. was founded, that they could only sell to the U.S. government.
Son of a bitch.
And then a lot of the time, the U.S. government, said sucks to suck. You're not in charge, because property law is shitty. And I try not to do property law. I hate that shit.
Damn.
So I want.
So in that, my bad, real quick. In the 80s, it's the Sioux Nation.
Yes.
They were awarded $102 million in 1980, and since then, it's just been interest on that shit every time. And every time they come back to him like, "Hey, you want this money?" It's like, "Nah, man, I want my land." All right, well, I try to give you the money. I don't know what to say. And that shit, that's fucked up. That I respect them on that principle. Like, man, there is no dollar amount that you're gonna give me that I'm not gonna say, give me my land back. And you got to think, since the 80s up to now, there's generations who have held this shit in to say, nah, even if I want the money, I'm doing this for my granddad. I'm doing this for my grandma. I'm doing this for my great. It's all the way down. It's like, man, the money may sound great, but for my people, I wouldn't feel right taking that money knowing what they want.
Well, and then it continues with "We fucked up Standing Rock," which was an ancestral burial ground for them. So they know we're not good for the money.
I'm not that strong. Period. If my grandma in 1985, I don't want that 100,000. And then in 2005, my mama said, that 100,000 to turn to 30 million. And she's like, I don't want that 30 million. And it come down to me and it's 90 million. I'm like,
Lional, come on, man.
Look, listen. Now, look, I ain't saying I'm gonna take the money. I'm saying it's hard to not think about it.
Oh, it's super hard.
They thought about it. I guarantee you they thought about it.
Exactly. And I don't blame them. Especially the first time it hit that billion mark. I'm pretty sure some people was in the room like, all right, man, come on now.
Like, check me out. This is $10 billion, and there are 45 of us left. Do the math.
That depends on how you count membership in a tribe, because Native American tribes don't tend to have the blood quantities that we require of them to be counted as Native American. I had to do a project on immigration and Native American law over the summer after my first year of law school.
I want people to understand just how evil this shit was to take this land from the natives. When I found out natives use buffalo for multiple shit, like for not just food but clothing and
they
like
broke a buffalo down. They broke his ass down.
They didn't waste that shit.
When I found out that the Europeans were saying, you know what, we can't knock all these motherfuckers down man for man like this. Let's just hunt thousands of buffaloes and take that shit down. And we can take down their food, their clothes, their weapons. It's like, yo, that is systematic evil. That shit, nah. That's like movie evil. Like that shit shouldn't be, that shouldn't be a real life tactic. That's movie.
If I were to put that shit in a book, somebody would call me heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Now you want to know some wild shit? It wasn't thousands. It wasn't thousands. It was literally millions of buffalo. There's a picture you can find online of just the skulls, not the whole skeletons, just the skulls, 13 feet high. You can see a bunch of white men standing on top of it, and a white guy standing at the bottom, and just a big pyramid of buffalo skulls. 13 feet just of skulls, not the whole skeleton, just the skulls.
This is a level of evil. Like, yo.
And then you want to know some shit? They would have called them savages. That's some bullshit right there.
That is. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on.
All right. So let's
wait. Before you move on, Lionel, I got a question for you specifically because we was talking about what is that dollar amount, and I think this correlates.
Okay.
In the 1800s, I think, after the slaves were freed, they had this. America had this group founded to send free slaves to what became Liberia. Mm-hmm. Are you on one of them ships going to Liberia? Or are you trying your best to be a free man in America?
Nah, because you're not getting me back on no boat, period.
Yeah, that's fair. That's right. I ain't finna fall for that again. That's
that shit one time.
That's actually facts. Yeah, I ain't finna do that again.
Now, hold on now. Let me get this straight. You put me on the boat that one time, and I ended up for 17 years for free. Now you saying you want me to go back? Nah, I'm good.
Look, the whole idea for sending free Black people, freed Africans, well, I guess at that point you freed Americans, to Liberia was that, oh, these motherfuckers free. They might try to do to us what we did to them. If I can get them up out of here,
I would have tried to move to Canada or something like that. I wouldn't have went back. I wouldn't have got back on no fucking boat. Period.
The thought was, if I can get them up out of here, I can also look like a reformed good guy, but also I ain't got to worry about them over here anymore.
No.
The only problem was you sent motherfuckers to Liberia who didn't know the native language over there, didn't know the native ways, didn't know a lot of the shit over there. They went over there, brought diseases with them to the native people, treated the native people there like they were the help, and pushed them out, started a civil war. Now that land is still trying to make it. So they look, they sent us over there, and we act like they did over here. So,
I'm gonna put this on your brain, Lamar. I want you to think about this, okay? For next week. How much money would it have taken for you to snitch on Harriet Tubman? Think about that for a minute. All right.
Time out. I got a real question. Is it money or is it position? And like, is it just a dollar?
What would it have taken? Period. Okay. Think about that. We're coming back to that next week. All right. You're going to start the show off with that.
All right. Bet.
So, I want to end the episode with a little history lesson. Okay. So, I did my RCRA training today. I don't know if you guys know what RCRA training is, but RCRA stands for Resource Conservation and Recovery Act. Pretty much the government's way of saying we're going to put money aside to, RCRA, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of CERCLA. RCRA is the government saying this is what a hazardous waste is, this is how you handle it, this is how you dispose of it.
Don't fuck up the land.
Right. So this came about, President Ford signed this into law in the 70s. It came real deal around the 80s. Then CERCLA came around, and that's how Superfund sites came around. And Superfund site is when the government throws money at a project and cleans it up because the person who owns it doesn't have the money to pay for it. But not really, because Superfund's money needs to be paid back by the people who are responsible. So, for example, if all of us sent batteries to a recycling plant and they never recycled them and the plant closed and the batteries were still there, all of us, the four of us, would have to pay for that cleanup. And if the government had to pay for the cleanup, we had to pay the government back ×3. That's what CERCLA is. And the government is real frivolous on how they spend money during cleanup. Okay. So, trust me, I know. Times Beach, Missouri. Have you heard of this place?
No.
Not until today. Okay, I looked it up after you sent it, but I didn't.
Times Beach, Missouri is essentially a ghost town now. So it was a small town in the 80s. It started out back in the early 30s as like this vacation summer hometown because it was right on the river.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Great Depression was like, nah, you got to live here now. So then it became like just like a lower middle class town, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there was this factory. They made essentially they had this byproduct that was the result of making like soap. I want to say, hang on, let me look it up. It's chrono.
Is it like the result of making like lye soap? Because I know the chemical processes there are wild.
It's called hexachlorophene. Hexachlorophene.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also in like formaldehyde and shit like that. It's a hazardous waste. Okay. So this company was like, we need to get rid of this shit. And this guy, Richard Bliss was like, I'll take it and dispose of it for you. Ricker wasn't really a thing yet, especially not in Missouri. So they're like, here. They knew it was hazardous, but there were no real regulations on how to get rid of the shit, right? So this Bliss dude took that hexachlorophene and mixed it with used motor oil and sprayed his fields with it to keep the dust down. Because Missouri, right?
Okay.
And it did the job. It kept the dust down. Everybody's like, damn, your fields look good. Like he had to spray it like once every couple of months. Like there was no dust on his shit. And everybody was like, hey, yo, what's what you using over there? I was like, yo, man, a little oil. You know what I'm saying? He didn't tell him he was mixing hexachlorophene in it. So this, there's a lot of horse stables and stuff in Missouri. There's like, hey, won't you come spray my horse stable? Yeah, I'll do it for $150. Pay the man $150. He getting paid to take the stuff from the chemical company that he bought later on. And then he getting paid to,
use it.
People. So he's
in the middle of the Dust Bowl. So mind you.
So he's spraying this stuff. And like I said, Rickwood it was a thing in the late 70s, early 80s, but it wasn't really a thing yet. It wasn't widely regulated. So horses started dying. Everybody's like, fuck wrong with my horses? Well, man, it was fine until that motherfucker Richard. Hey, Richard, your shit killing my motherfucking horses. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about, boy. That's just motor oil. So they start, they had to dig up the topsoil and put the topsoil down, but horses were still dying. Now, while this is going on, Richard Bliss still spraying folks' farms for them.
Yeah.
He making $150, $200, $300 here, spraying farms, and all this cattle and shit is dying. And everybody's like, well, how the fuck is that happening? And there, word got around town, it's that motherfucker Richard. Right? So everybody on the Richard's ass now. Turns out the county was paying Richard to spray the dirt roads with that shit, because then if the dirt roads stayed, if there was no dust flowing, there was no dirt moving. And on the dirt road, if there is no dirt moving, there is no maintenance need to be done on the road. So he was spraying the fields for 10 years and the dirt roads for 10 years. And the city knew nothing. Just when the EPA was about to get on his ass, fucking river flooded.
Son of a bitch.
Whole city went underwater. And when it came down, they was like, yeah, y'all gonna have to get out of here. Who is y'all? All y'all. Every single one of you. So the government had to buy everybody out. The whole city. Businesses. Everybody. They unincorporated the city. And they tore the whole fucking city down. And it was a big ass project, super fun project. They had to, I don't know how deep they dug, but that's when everybody started worrying about dioxins. So yeah, there's a history lesson for your ass today. Times Beach, Missouri. Another white man causing problems.
Huh. All right.
I got a question for y'all based on our earlier conversation about potatoes and this and that. And
oh shit! Here we go.
All this.
We're gonna end on Lamar asking a question.
What?
I'm hungry. I'm about to eat. I got a bunch of meat in the freezer. What meat should I pick to cook today? Got duck, deer, bear, wolf, domesticated sheep, wild sheep, brook trout, brown trout. What? Why are you shaking your head like that, girl? What would you pick?
I don't know about y'all, but wolf and potato sound pretty good.
I'm on that deer because it's a little spicy right there. With that, yeah, I'm with you on that deer though.
But some wolf and rice.
Wolf and rice do not go together. I promise you, they do not.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it did. It just sounded like it did.
Okay, so I got a better question for you, Lamar.
What's that, man?
Were you planning on eating today?
And that was honestly my question, because
that is a damn good question.
Because it's 7:24 on the West Coast.
Yeah, it is. What I normally do is I got a bowl warm water, put shit from the freezer in the warm water, and it thaw 20-30 minutes, and yeah. So that's how I normally do it. Is that not the way? I heard people put it in the microwave, and I saw a motherfucker do that.
Nah,
but I'm like, God, that don't sound.
You. No, I'm with you on the hot water.
Be like
that's only if
9
I
o'clock.
To take the chicken out in the morning.
I was gonna say normally I take it out in the morning and
I take it out in the morning.
It's gonna be 10 o'clock your time. You're gonna be sitting down at the table eating fucking deer and
it's gonna be pretty late, man. It's gonna be pretty late.
Go to McDonald's at this point, bro. You fucking waited too long.
It's gonna be late.
I know I can get the thing thawed in like 20-ish minutes. So I'll put the shit in the hot water, take a shower, and then come out.
Bro, you can go to McDonald's and be back in like 10 minutes.
That's true. McDonald's ain't food though; it's just straight chemicals at this point.
That's fine. I
mean, you're not wrong.
Get you a McChicken because at this time of night, you get you a McChicken.
Oh,
with the cheese and bacon on it.
Wendy's got their version of the snack wrap, by the way, and that shit is slamming.
I'm gonna have to see what's to that. I'm gonna have to try to do Popeye's biscuit out tomorrow too. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. All right. Any last words, anybody? Because I know all of us on here are pretty tired today.
Yeah. I got one vote wolf, one vote deer. Jen, you are the tiebreaker. It's like, nigga, you was just as crazy as the day I met you. I don't know.
That is a you problem.
Hey, listen, when you cook that wolf, I want to see a picture of it.
All right, bet I can do that.
I want to see that wolf engraving when you make it.
All right, I can do that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a shorter episode tonight because all of us is tired of shit and it's only Tuesday. Like to thank Jen, Lamar, Yhis. They're not even guests anymore. This is the show. This is the panel. This is what we do. So I appreciate y'all coming on, but I'm gonna stop thanking y'all niggas for coming. that's where we at right about now. Because it's like we do this every Tuesday.
I got you.
And just so y'all know, it has been 1 calendar year since we started the podcast.
Hey, look at that.
And Sean is not on here because he's too busy. Never mind. I'm not even gonna fuck him around. I ain't gonna fuck him like that. He do have the jawline of a swordfish though. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So to the 75 or 80 people we got watching this, we appreciate y'all. You ain't telling your friends about it because we ain't getting no subscribers. So what's up with that? Leave us a like, leave us a comment. If you're listening to this part right now, that means you watched the whole episode. And if you watch or listen to this whole episode, what the fuck are you doing with your life? It's Friday. Like you ain't got no plans. You just listening to us talk shit all day. We appreciate it, but bro, come on. Go get a hobby. Take an antibiotic or something. So,
all right, y'all. I love each and every one of y'all, but I think it's time for us to go.
Yeah, it's time for us to go. When Lamar say he tired, we tired.
Like my people been tired and he ain't tired.
Right. 400 years.
Sugar where my K-cup was supposed to go after. I need to go to bed.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for coming on. Thank y'all for listening. This is But Peep This podcast. We'll see y'all later.